So now all of you get ready. Now let's continue with the class. I see many of the Vietnamese who are still sitting in here gossiping. So now, before I let the student in Thailand to ask the second question, I have a few points I want to elaborate for you so that on Friday, Vũ will have a summarized note. And then in the future, we'll have more details for you. This is a special note that is for you that contains the technique for healing individually, collectively, and the way to emerge in many situations. In a normal case, merging with the objects and other regions. So this is a special case that when we have a break, that Vũ had asked me, in the case of emergency, let's have emergency happen to you. You don't need to merge 3 times or 1 time. In emergency, that you have an emergency. If you still remember my soul, you just think of my soul to merge with you, then you can regain consciousness. Just like on the first day, that Dr. Kim Loan in here had asked a question when she felt unconscious. She only remembered Master Dang to help her, that's all. So that is very lucky for many of you to help your body to regain back to normal. So I want to emphasize for you the important part that I can help you so you can rest assured, meaning in any urgency situation, your soul can take care of you first. And Vũ would like to ask more details. So when you have any form of emergency, so you just think of Master Dang, listen carefully. Now in the case of reviving a person who died, when you were in level 19, I let you try to merge 3 times in 20 minutes and receive a light of God aura transfer energy to the heart. But now you are in the level 20. You listen carefully. This is very important. If that person is a healthy, able body who have a sudden death, meaning in a cardiac arrest. In the case of a person who died in sudden death, but you are able to help. You can help, meaning you merge to that person 3 times. You don't receive the light of God's aura. This is to help a person with a cardiac arrest who died, and you can help to revive the person. You merge 3 times to the chakra of the person, and you merge 3 times to the heart. Listen carefully. And then during that time, if there is your family members, you leave it there for 6 hours, not 2 hours. 6 hours. And for that 6 hours, you constantly transfer energy every 30 minutes. Supposedly, you leave the body like in a mummy, when you put in the morgue, they would take out all the organs and then they keep in the freezer. But in 6 hours, if the body is still have the warmth to remember, that body is an able body, meaning the person is a healthy person who had a sudden death. If the person is 90 or 94 years of age and the person died of old age, you can transfer energy, you are not able to help. Secondly, in the case of sickness, let's say a severe terminal disease, a person died, you just try for 6 hours, 12 times you transfer energy every 30 minutes. Who knows? In the case of the cancer, the person died after 6 hours, you transfer energy. As you are merging, all of the organs are not able to be activated. As you are merging, if you are able to save the person also is clear. This is very rare. If you can do it, it is a blessing for that person. As you transfer energy 12 times in such 6 hours, that is, you have the ability to send another soul to merge into that body. If that body is still able, that can be used. Listen carefully. As I mentioned to you, even though in the case of cancer, the person died, it may be difficult to help. But if you merge 12 times in that 30 minutes interval, in that 6 hour period, every 30 minutes you transfer energy for 12 times. If you are not able to save the body, then the body died. because the level of the human, when a body died, normally they have to bring it to the hospital or they put in the morgue. But for you, if it is your family members, you live at home for 6 hours, like in Vietnam. If you keep put in the morgue, then you are not able to save that person. That the person kept in the frozen, it's not easy to save. If you can keep the body for 6 hours, who knows? In 1 hour, the first time when you transfer energy, the second time you transfer energy, the person is revived. So you can see. You can try to do that every 30-minute interval to see if you can save that person in 6 hour period. If that person is lucky, you are able to save that person, everything will change. As I'm telling you, this is the case of an able body, meaning a healthy person, or in the case of a person who have a sickness. If that person, about 40, 50 years of age, and with the breast cancer, or stomach cancer, or liver cancer, or lung cancer, for example, and the person died. However, in that situation, as you know, you merge. Who knows? After the person died, all the brain, everything is paralyzed. When you transfer energy and you merge, another soul can enter the body. Who knows? It can revive the body. Either that the soul of that person or another soul would come in to use that body. Listen carefully. So in the family, they do not know. Who think that this person is still alive. Back, it is their own children. But the body of their children, but the soul is another soul that come in. That new soul that enter that body also recognize every family members. In the beginning, it may be strange, but slowly they are able to help all of the people. This is the point I want to share with you. In the case we are able to help in these situations, that is how I explain for you. In Asia, it is easy, but in America or in Australia, in Europe, from a general principle, after death, you have to call people to put the body into the morgue and register. Once it is in the morgue, you cannot save. There's nothing you can do. In Vietnam, hopefully, you can keep the body in at home from the morning to the afternoon. In Vietnam, due to the tradition, you just keep. You are afraid that the cat might jump over the body, but only in our country, in Vietnam or in Thailand, due to the culture in Thailand, maybe it's easier to keep the body for a longer period before they do the rituals. But in general, if you can keep the body for 6 hours, then you apply the technique. If in America, in Europe, in Australia, if they allow you to keep for 2 or 3 hours, for example, you just guard the body after 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, you stand there, you do it in person, you merge. Who knows, after 1 hour or before the ambulance comes to take the body, the person is revived. Then you give tip to these people who come to take the body. So this is, I show you, to update for you. This is very important for those of you. You only need to think of me and I merge with you and help you in a case of emergency, that you do not die. And you might be able to recover 50, 60%, and eventually you go to the hospital to have medical treatment so that you are able to help yourself. And in level 19, I also explained for you. In level 20, now as you learn, you can treat yourself. Because this new soul, this is the soul in the level 19, I can still treat you in the level 20. Except only in the case that your body is completely unconscious, then you can ask others to treat you. If you can still have some movement, if you ask others to treat you, the new soul, they will be angry at you. So do not provoke them. When they're angry, I'm not happy, and when I'm not happy, then you get sick. So what do you want? So you try to treat yourself. So now, I organize the level 20, so now I would never treat you anymore. So it is better for me. But the level 19, I still have to treat. Because your daughter, you still learn up to level 13 plus, you still ask me to treat. So now I say clearly, so these 2 points. Vu, tonight, perhaps tomorrow, he will have to type in English, in Vietnamese. Then on Friday, I will hand out for you and send by email to all of you in Europe and in Asia, in Vietnamese and English, and then you can translate into your own language. Perhaps tomorrow, Vu will have something for you in some country in your own language, so you can translate. Over here we have many languages, perhaps in German, in Chinese, in Russian, in Italian, in Thai. Perhaps you can translate easy when you have the document. That is how I want to share with you. And now, in Thailand, you can have the second question. Dear Master, I'm from Hue. I would like to greet you, as well as all of the UE students all over the world. I would like to represent the students in the central of Vietnam and in Hue to thank you, thank God that you allow us to have the antenna in Hue. I ask you to receive our sincere gratitude. We wish as this man who would as he give his garden so that we can place the antenna, and you have also accept our deepest gratitude. And for myself, I thank you to allow us to learn the level 20. So, in Charun, let another one to ask a question. She just share her thanks, that's all. I would like to send my greeting to you, Master. And also greeting to all of the students in all three locations. I would like to thank God and you, Master, and all the people who silently helped me to come here to learn this level. I would like to for you to teach me. When I learned the level 19, I treat the list far away, and when I merge and I see a vision to have a person who is almost dying with a terminal disease, I see a vision and I see the light. Can you show me what is the significance of this vision? When after 1 week I do the treatment, I always see this vision. And this patient, the doctor had given up and waiting to die. And then during that whole week, I emerged and I contact the person. They say that sometimes the person is feeling better and sometimes the person is not feeling better. I do not know whether my merging can help the person or my merging is not right, then I would stop. If I do not right, and I stop, and after stopping today, I can contact their family in Vietnam. They say that she passed away. I would like to request for you to transfer energy to the big pyramids so that I can bring back home to the place where I live, so that we have peace in my region, in my area. Now let me answer to your question. In the future, regardless of any situation, if you are treating to help people, then you help them to the last breath. Why? If you cannot help the body, you are helping the soul to evolve. So you listen carefully. Even though we know we cannot help the body, but we have the ability to help the soul. Every day, constantly, you treat that person. If the person die, you are able to help, meaning you are helping the soul to return to the deities. That is my opinion. I share with you. All of the pyramids and everything that you need, you can place on a table right in the hall. Like on the translator table, if you wish for this object to have the energy transfer, when I merge and practice, and I merge to all of the object, all the audience, I would merge to all. So you listen carefully. including the small pyramid or the big pyramids or the 49 centimeter pyramids. I can merge to all of these pyramids or even the antenna model. So you listen carefully, the small antenna model that you practice in the level 7. That is my answer for you. So you listen carefully. The fact that you learn and you do it correctly, that is your own job. As you love and you help them, whether they get clear or not, whether they die or they are living, you don't have this ability. It is up to their fate. You don't have that responsibility. We only know how to love and help them with the condition that you have the time. With the condition that if you don't have the time, you can refuse. Nobody forced you to do it. So that way you can calmly and peacefully go on to the path. If you have the time, you can help them. If you don't have the time, you can refuse. So I explain clearly for you so you don't worry in any situation when you are trying to help people. Now, the third question in Thailand. Can you show us a technique how we can merge to people who drown, like many of the Vietnamese who die out in the ocean, and for those just like in the case of the Jews who die during the war, as you mentioned. And second question, as you mentioned, that in the level 20 the soul is permanent with us. Could it be that is the soul with the divine love, the highest love, unconditionally love, that can come and can mediate to solve all the problem with hatred? I think that would be the soul of God with the highest vibration and the frequency of love in the universe. In that way, there is no other soul that can replace this soul. Is my thinking right or not? Now, as you know, for the past few days, as well as this morning, I explained to you, when you are in the level 20, you go through the change of the soul, meaning the first civilization up to the fourth civilization, or the first human race, or the fourth human race. So after the level 20, 1,541 of you, all of you, this soul will merge with you. They merge with you to help your body. To help your body so you don't have the greed, just like them in the past. Power struggle. With power struggle, there is no love. Power struggle we can achieve. That is only the material way, not the spiritual way. When we have the powers in the material way, we cannot help to develop in a spiritual, regardless of anyone on earth. I tell you the truth. So from the past until now, as we live at this stage, the fifth civilization or the fifth human race, nobody has this ability. We only have the theory. We cannot do it. But with theory, they know it, they understand it, but they do it wrong. They cannot do it right. If they do it right, then we would not have suffering. Because the first civilization, they could not reach that level to have wisdom and enlightenment. Then how can we have peace and prosperity? How can we last? That's why on the first day I remember how we can avoid the case that with our ego boasting, to avoid the case that we say the truth without lying. In the human world, we lie more than we say the truth. I know, because I have gone through that road. Then a number of you who say, when you are wrong, and then you say that you lie or say wrong, and you're not harming any people. How do you know? I give you an example. You say that you're covering, and you say this is good and this is good, and just do this peacefully. You can go and pray this and pray that. Once they go on that bridge and the bridge collapses and these people die, They believe in you. They say that you're not harming them. When they come there and they have the problem, that is how you harm them, because they believe in you. They go there, they have an accident. I only share with you a part. I cannot say much more. So, in the human world, in the physical world, we are always wrong. You do not feel sad, because if you feel sad and discouraged about people who always do the wrong thing, even though you say one word wrong or you say one page wrong, it is still wrong. Anyone on earth who say the right thing, and now they give this meaning, that means to help people to follow the spiritual path. Follow the spiritual path meaning you have to speak the truth, because if you speak the truth, nobody would follow you. That's why you have to lie to them. And you try to lie to them. At the time when I was only 6 years old, when I go to the temple, I see that they draw the two vase of the burning oil, and they say that these two, and then and there's the lady, her name is Thằng, meaning that she's the gatekeeper of hell in a Buddhist tradition. So you keep on lying, and then when you grow up, and then you see that you are being deceived, and you can see. They say that lying, they give white lies, but you see that these people giving white lies, and you grow up and you also continue to lie to people. These are the means. You say about Santa Claus, you don't see Santa Claus. All the children, they've been waiting at night. They are afraid that your children seeing the Santa Claus. And then you go to work, and then work so hard, and then at night you walk in, and then but when they grow up, they don't see Santa Claus. They only see their parents giving them the gifts. So this is only a story I want to explain for you. Through this, do not blame, do not criticize anyone. As we live in the human world, we have to lie. As we say the truth, we will die. Many people who say the truth and they died already. As we are lying, with the purpose to survive, we lie not to harm people. That it is better. It's better than to lie to hurt people. You see that. To lie so that to survive and to hurt people, do not do it. That's how I share with you. In this level 20, I advise for you. Your soul are from this human race with wisdom enlightenment. You are able to help them. Why? So that you are able to help mankind. Now this 4 civilization, they are highly advanced, preparing to the 5th advanced civilization. These 4 combine together to help the 5th one, so that we have the intellect. So my soul from far away who come here to combine them all. My purpose is just like the link to combine all of these 4 civilization, combining with the 5th one, so that these 4 civilization combining with my soul to help the 5th civilization to have the wisdom enlightenment from now to the future. Whoever are our successors, they continue on this journey to have wisdom enlightenment, that we can help Earth to have the true light without selfishness, without power struggle. Then all the people will have peace. That is one of the stories that for the past many centuries, they want the human world to have paradise on earth. The Long Hoa meeting, meaning people with the true smile on the face. That is real. We did not, if we do not reach that stage, then we will not see the Long Hoa meeting. The ancestors in the past who sent many messages for us, but they only whatever they know they reveal, but they do not know how. With the higher being who come to merge to the 5th civilization to help us to have wisdom enlightenment. That is you and me and humankind at this time. That is how I explain for you clearly. And I also remind you from the past until now, they're all imagining that the highest being as God. They imagine the highest being as the divine love. That is so far away. Now let's talk something closer. These are so abstract. The nearest, do you love your parents or not? Do you love your brother or sister or not? Do you love your spouse, your children, your neighbors or not? You only love your parents, your children, and your family. You don't love the others, and you hate others, or you cause hatred to others. But unfortunately, when you have a problem, who help you? When you need, who help you? Therefore, I advise for you, the humans loving the human, the human helping the human. Beyond the human, no one can help the humans. And these humans are the soul of all of this false civilization that come and merge with you. Listen carefully. God is so far away. The nearest civilization that can help the fifth one with the wisdom. We live God and the highest being out here. This is only the human helping the human. God is the highest. If you believe in God, then you pray to God. God can support you. The humans can help the humans. And if you believe in God, God wish the human could help the human. The human love the human. That's all. God doesn't want any more than that. God doesn't need you to give a lot of offering. God does not need this. God only needs you to love your family members, your neighbors, your acquaintance, people from different religion, from different race. You need to apply this true love. This is the topics I want to share with you. That is in the teaching of UE. That we can combine all the people from all 5 continents that come to the UE family, just like in this class today. In Europe, in Thailand, in Australia, all of you, we combine all of the religion, all of the races in the world. We are all converged together to the class, the highest level. So you have the opportunity to contribute, to help your country, you help your people, your religion, your family. But now we use the terminology of God is so far away. God has a lot of work. God has to take care of billions and billions of planets, billions and billions of galaxies, billions of stars. God doesn't just take care of one person. Our planet is just like a grain of sand in the desert. God take care of the whole desert, not just one grain of sand. So that I give you a simple example so you can see. So from now to the future, if you believe, you pray. Tradition, culture, family, society, you just pray accordingly. But God only remind you that the humans love the humans. God doesn't tell you to love strangers. Do you love all your family members or not? Do not talk about strangers outside. Parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren. Do you love all of them? No. I know, you don't. Even including your own children, you don't even love them. You know why you don't even love them? If they break a vase, expensive vase, then a vase, and you hit them, and if you truly love them, you would not hit them. You would not yell at them. You just lost $40 for the face, and you hit them, and you lost $300. I taught you this in level 7. So from now to the future, you would not act like this, because this being, they will leave. It would be the end. The only one remaining soul. That is up to you. It is not that I'm warning you. That is how to help you, so that you have the capacity, so you can help others. Not much. Now you say that you're not capable. Do you love your children, your spouse, your son-in-law, daughter-in-law, grandparents, grandchildren? No, that's all. If you cannot love all of them, you cannot do anything. So I talk about saving all the humans here and the world. To save the human in the world, they are no strangers. They are right close to you. Your family members, your loved one, no stranger. That's all. I just give you that reminder. And you talk about my soul, who I am, it's not as important. I'm just like the link that link all of the civilization in the past until now to help the current human race, so that we can have wisdom and enlightenment in order to help mankind. That is the mission of my body, as I'm chosen by God, the soul from far away have been on earth, in order to share, to help, to combine everything together. My God, before you ask, I know what you are asking, so you don't have to ask. I answer like this, no matter how you understand. If you can understand, it's good. If not, it's still good. So now, next question. Oh, and in the case of people who die, honestly, you cannot merge to these people who already died. Now I tell you, like in the case of tsunami in 2004, in December, and the people who die out in the ocean, the Vietnamese refugee out in the ocean, regardless of any condition of their death, I tell you, if in that region, let's say region A, with a disaster, at that moment you merge 3 times. At that moment, any soul who are there, this soul will evolve. If they go around just like you, if they go around, they are not there, as they are going somewhere else. Let's say if they die about almost a century ago, they're not around in that area, they may go around to somewhere else already. So you transfer energy there, you think that the tsunami is there, if they are there, but in fact they are gone elsewhere. The tsunami in region A, when you transfer energy, but in fact they all move to region B, for example. So this is by fate. As you are merging to this region with the disaster, or you just merge. As you love the country, the people, each region, you merge. The city, the town, the country, as you remember, you just merge. There's no problem with that. Just like later on. Now, as you know, the tsunami in Thailand, in Indonesia, for example, or many of these mass grave, like for the Jews who died in the war. So you can just, when we practice, you just merge to town A, town B, town C, so your soul can go there. As your soul go, your body lose all sensation. So you are traveling if you wish. I explained clearly. It doesn't mean that I do not allow you. If you want to help, sometimes there's nobody around there, no souls. If there are, then these souls are linked to you by fate, so that you have a chance. You can help this soul to evolve. There's no problem with this. So I explained for you clearly on that. Now in Australia area here, dear Master, I'm from Hanoi. Today I'm very happy because I'm here in Australia to attend the level 20 in person with you. I know your time is so precious, so I would like to present to you in short about my life from the moment I learned Lảo. It is a way to show my gratitude so that all of the students can learn and I share with all of you. Before coming to Lảo, my life just going to a new page. In 2001, in level 7 in Thailand, with a lot of sickness, my health is deteriorate. I had asked you to help my health to be normal like others, and you said that you come here, then you have, just feel calm. From that moment, my life changed. I have asthma, severe asthma, and each time when it happened, I always in the urgency in my throat, and I would not be able to move, especially with the change of the weather. The asthma really caused me to suffer. And there are times every year I would not be able to take a shower, only just wash, and the asthma caused a problem. I'm afraid of the water and the wind, and have to take a lot of medication. I have to have the breathing apparatus at home because of a lot of the medication that I have to take. I have a lot of problem all over my body with the heart, the digestive system, the nervous system, and all of the internal organs. I do not have the immune strength. I always have a flu. The hospital is my house. All of the physicians, they give up. But then when I find your way in Lảo, and you give birth to me for the second time, And there's not a miracle I want to share with you and to share with all of the students here. One of my tooth from 92, it is really bad and broken. Only a third of the tooth, and it is totally broken down to the root. Normally, it would not be painful because when I transfer energy, I think that after the level 18, I would go to fix it. If the root is gone, how can they fix it? So when I came to Thailand to learn for 2 days, I felt something in my mouth after 5 days, and suddenly the root, and after half a month, the tooth grows, and I have a new tooth, and I don't have any more pain. Dear Master, because of many of the high levels, especially in the level 17, 18, 19, a number of us, we can travel out to space easily. Each time when I practice, my body feels very comfortable and a sensation of losing gravity. And sometimes when I practice, I feel very light. My body seems like flying, and it seems like I'm disappearing. This is a moment I feel very happy and peaceful from one day to another. This sense of peace always stay with me. I do not feel sad or suffering anymore. Dear Master, you had changed my body and my soul. You had given to me a lot. I only know I have to train myself so that I would deserve to be your student. Dear Master, I would like to ask you to let you ask 2 questions. One time when after the level 19, a student asked me, who called me and asked me, her father passed away. Can I merge with her father? So I write the name. When I look at the name, and I sense my body feels very cold. But there is something that tells me to try to pray to merge. The moment I pray, and suddenly my chakra feel very strong vibration. I stop praying and merge. And then I know that person had died after more than 3 hours and had been in the morgue. So with this symptom, could it be that you are reminding me? Can you elaborate on that point for me? And my second question, you had given us the formula to merge to help to develop the business for our home, for our agriculture, farming in Vietnam. Dear Master, at last, I don't have anything to say. I would like to thank God, to thank you, Master, to thank Teresa, because you really support the Master so that you can bring the joy and the life to help all the humans. And for all the humans, they include me. One more time, I would like to thank you, Master. Through the presentation of this student, I want to share with you. As I had mentioned to you, we can help a sick person who die after 6 hours with the condition if the body is still at home. The condition if they are in the morgue, then for sure we are not able to help. Listen carefully on that part. However, during the time, the waiting period, as you are merging to the dead person, let's say for the 1 or 2 hours, if you are fortunate, the soul can merge and you are able to revive the person, then that is a good sign. I do not have the formula. Today is the 3rd day. As I guide you, the treatment technique and the merging technique, and you are able to merge to all the living creatures. I do not mention about the case of the dead. However, today, as Vũ had reminded me, in the case of emergency for yourself or for the people who died in a cardiac arrest. Through the presentation of this student, from my body, I have an idea. It means when we help, there's two ways. First, we are changing the soul of that person with another soul that using that body to apply. On the first day, as I guided you, these are the family members, our own family members, children, grandchildren. Let's say they are doing good in life, but if they have an accident, they die, then you can use another soul, use another body, so that you can help the soul of your children, grandchildren, as you are able to help them to go into the new body, to carry on, to help mankind. So now, as our family members, as I share with you, if that body is still able, who can contribute to help mankind, then with our ability, hopefully you are able to help the soul, the body to revive, or another soul with the capacity to borrow this body to live in your family, and they may have some different personality or action that according to some of the books that had recorded. How come this person after die for a short time and this person revive would not be able to remember everything? Because there is another soul. It is not that former souls. If it is a former soul, eventually that soul will be more familiar in a new environment. The new soul would have also the ability in order to replace the other soul and borrow this body to act to help people. Slowly, that person will recognize the family members. There's no problem in that. As we are already mature, we are not just like an infant who do not know how to talk or speak. So, through the presentation of this student, I just want to update. Who knows? This is only the third day. Who knows? On the fifth day or the last day, I will have a special formula to help the people who died. Now, temporarily, we can do it like this. But I update further with a special ability, with a special environment, that we can help to revive the people who died. Who knows, perhaps there are many more updates that as they taught the deity who taught me, and I will reveal to you. I do not promise, but I think more or less we'll have more subjects to update these topics in the case of people who died and to help them to revive them. I want to help all the people. I don't want people to die, because I remember more than 10 years ago, the humans in the world will increase the population 10 times more. We don't have to worry about the problem with the food, nutrients, or shelter, housing. Perhaps we can transform from material to energy. So in the future, it's not so difficult. First of all, since we have the environment, if we can do this, then on Earth, even if the population increased 10 times, well, there's no problem. So on that, I want to share with you through these two questions from the students. And now, the formula I have shown you already. The formula meaning you have signed the contract. And you are able to create by merging to the object to help in terms of the animals, vegetable, agriculture. All of these inanimate objects you can still merge. So now in the case of agriculture, farming, so all of these animals you are able to merge to help them to promote the growth easily, to benefit for your family, for your country, for your people. There's no difficulties. The difficult one here is, can you try your best to work just like this student? Meaning you have to try to practice, to try to train yourself. Why? So you can protect your family, to promote the economy for your family as well as your country. I do not wish anymore. If you wish to improve your immune strength, I do not want to say that you are living a long or eternal life, but you try to apply, to practice. First, you can protect your body to have the strong immune system, and maintain your health. You live happily. Then you always live in the light of joy. As you live in the light of joy, then for sure, you cannot even die early, even if you want to. That is how I share with you. You live in a meaningful life to serve. You live in order to contribute to help other people. Then your life is precious. Even if you want to die, you cannot. Including for those of you, you want to die in an accident, you could not even die. Listen carefully. So that is how I want to share with you. So now the second person, Christina. Now it's Christina from Brazil.
The real meaning of this, we can feel that is the event that you and all of us have been waiting for a long time. Could you please, Master, elaborate more about our fifth civilization? Thank you very much, Master.
Dạ, xin hết thưa Thầy. Now through the presentation of this student, the Asian, it is different than the European or the African or American. It is very, they are very clever, they have many ideas. Because I'm always like this, clever like this. I'm always lazy. As I'm always lazy, that's why, you know why? Now let's say the pot. Let's say you have a pot of 10 liter. I do not tell you to carry 8 or 10 liter. You just do it, just half a liter each time you pour in. So you doing like that. Just half a liter. You do it 16 times. Then suddenly just like exercise. Let's say you walk far away. Let's say the faucet far away. You just carry half a liter. And you do it 16 times, suddenly it is exercise, you look beautiful and you look very in shape. You don't have to carry only 8 liters, because after you cook, as the water evaporate, and the rice energy only down to only 4 liter. But Teresa can carry 10 liter, 4 liter is so easy for her. She would not let me do it. I myself, I might be careless and I might hurt myself, so that's why in the morning when to carry the water down 5-10 liter, people do it. After I take the shower, they can carry the water. I go and sit in a book, and then I see that after 6 times I see the water is drained. So you can do just like me. It is the best. So for Christina, instead of 8 liter, 8 times or 16 times you carry, then it is better for you. And then after you boil it, it evaporates down only to the 8 liter. 8 liter with 250 grams of rice. Perhaps it take 1 hour or 2 hours boiling, and the water evaporates. The water will be reduced down to only 4 or 5 liter. There's some sort of the rice. Perhaps some of the rice, depending on how it is mixing with the water. Not to mention that after an hour and a half, but you really turn on the heat, and it is boiled, and then everything is the water is pour out, and you only have 1.5 liter. And you said the master said that today you must, but you look instead of 8 liter, you only have 1.5 liter. Then it's less effective. So you make sure you moderate the fire. It is not like 8 liter, but after a while it is only evaporate. Only you have 4 or 5 liters. So that's for Christina. She's afraid that she have to carry a heavy weight. So that is only a case that you need to listen now. In fact, before I prepare the level 20, as I learned the basics, the special topics, and the details, I would learn about the details. Each day when I go to the class, each day when I teach, I receive the message. Each time I teach you the formula, and each message I receive, I learn first, and then you learn right after me. And I know many of you in 3 locations as you learn, you receive at most 80%. Whether you are the Vietnamese or the foreigners, you only receive 80%. Whether you listen even the southern accent in Vietnamese, you can only receive 80%, not more. But I'm more special. When I teach you, I remember I keep 100%. That is my point. That from the beginning, I'm fortunate that when I'm teaching, I always receive the message. Just like you go to take the test, everything is closed. The envelope is closed. When they go to the class, it is revealed. Similarly for me, when I come here, then I start to open the seal. Then I read and I lecture for you. I do not prepare anything ahead of time, as you can see, because the DT seal all of the envelope. When I come to the class to teach you, just like right now, I receive the message, come to me. Then I transfer, me and you, all of us, we learn all together. However, you receive 80%, and at night, I review for you. I review, and the DT reveal to me that you have to do this and do that. Even though the DT merge with me, I teach you with universal energy, I teach you with my soul, but sometimes you understand like this and like that, and you have this problem and that problem. Then on the next day, I update, further elaborate on these new or old topics for you to learn. That is a special way. I never thought that I teach about the 5th civilization to have wisdom enlightenment. I always think that the level 20, as I know the soul of all of those with the ability to merge with all of you to help mankind as God has chosen our body already. That's all I know. I do not know about the first 7, the second, first, third, and fourth civilization. The 5th civilization is us. In the past, I received the message from relatives. I said that we lost our wisdom and enlightenment. That was the time the people from Atlantis returned back to relatives, as they did not follow everything that God had given to them. That's why God had invited all the body and the soul of the people from Atlantis to return back. Those are the topics in level 19, and in the past, whatever the rest received the message, I reveal to you. I cannot say more or less. And then slowly, the changes of the soul, so that until now, today, as you learn in this class, then I know clearly that God allowed all of the civilization, the human race from the past until now, so that they are able to merge with your body, so that we can combine ourselves to live in this 5th civilization right now on earth, so that we can have wisdom without the problem of selfishness and power struggle. In the previous seminars, I always talk to you and guide you that we need to avoid the case of selfishness and power struggle for benefit. That's all I can teach you, so you can have wisdom and enlightenment. But I do not know that when I teach you in level 20, the change of the thinking, the change in the lecture, I already know one thing, that the change of the soul, this time it is permanent, forever. They will not change. I do not know. I already know that the soul from the highest being that come to you, and the highest being right now, we think that the deities are from the 5th civilization that we've been worshipping them. From the 5th civilization, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they do not agree with them because they are highly advanced. They are before us. Now, our civilization, we do not have the wisdom and enlightenment. We still have the limitation. We worship and we respect this being as the highest being, just like from Buddhism, it is Buddha Sakya after 25th century in Catholic, Jesus Christ, or Mohammed for more than 1,000 years ago. But more than 3,000 years or 5,000 years, who are they? Nobody knows. One of the strangest things, the people in Vietnam, more than 5,000 years history, Chinese more than 5,000 or 4,000 years. They all talk about Confucius and Lao Tzu, but before them, it doesn't mean that they are beings. How come you keep on referring about 21st century? You don't talk about 3,000. You know why? You don't know. That is why we only learn from the past 25 centuries. And when we talk about the 3,000 years, one of the flower that bloomed, and there's a Buddha. One of the flowers that they said are very rare, only grow in once in 3,000 years. So that's why people make up so many things. That's what happened in our civilization right now. They make up many things, and then later on they try to correct themselves. As you are living in the 20th century, you in my same age, we are born in the 20th century. The scientists in the world, whatever they claim, whatever they say, you have to listen to them. In the past, the scientists, they said that with Earth there are eight planets, and then now they say that in the solar system there's only 8. As you go to Australia, in Melbourne right here, about several hundred kilometers, and with the 9 rocks, and they say that the 12 apostles, and with this monument, it's 12 apostles. There are all the rocks, and then many of are broken. So that is a tourist attraction. As you think that is the 12 apostles, you come to this location. It is just a piece of rocks. Many of them are broken. If they are really apostles, then how come they don't turn into the rocks? If they cannot protect these rocks. So that is how it is in the human world. We have one, and we say they have 1,000. So we are keep on lying. The real, you keep on saying it's fake. And that is how we are, the human nature. Only now that I know. In the past, I do not know. In level 20, as I know, I teach you. In the past, if I know in level 16, after level 19, I know that I would teach you, but I did not know. Then I would not be able to answer if the student asks. I tell you the truth, I only know it and I can teach you. Some of the students, they ask me, and I will be stuck. One of the very special case, perhaps the deities who love me, I never get stuck. Supposedly, I would be a lawyer, but I would not be a lawyer, but I'm the master. I tell you the truth, because no matter how, I can still argue. Whether they say right, wrong, in any way, I can still argue and right. So lawyer is not equal to the master, so now it's better for me to be a master. So now, now she wants to show herself to Thailand in Holland.
Dạ, kính thưa thầy.
Dear Master,
và cô và tất cả quý vị ở đây,
and all of you
Thái Lan.
in Holland and in Thailand. I would like to ask this for a long time, but sometimes I thought I know, and now I think I don't know the answer, so now I dare to ask. Perhaps you may yell at me, but I would ask, then I would know what happened. Dear Master, you had mentioned that in the human world, each of us, we have our own role, perhaps good or evil. So I thought it would be just like an opera. They have some actors with a different role, but at the end of the play, when the curtain is down, we just go back to zero, go back to our own life. So in the human life, from the king to a laborer, it will turn back to dust. So that is about the power struggle. I live in this new society. I believe in the exchange through words to avoid the case of misunderstanding. For example, sometimes we think that we can read people's thought, and a misunderstanding that caused unfortunate situation. I believe that if we can truly say, even though some of the words may be direct, sometimes it may cause misunderstanding, not to mention about reading people's thought. There are a few times I travel to several places, I think of one of the subject that you mentioned about the power struggle for benefit and also the threat. Perhaps you go to an area, the local people, perhaps think it is the threat for their personal interest that may cause the power struggle or even war. So you had mentioned that in the previous years, when we talk about the spiritual aspect, you go to the spiritual place, and you also had to fight with this high being in this region, and you had to fight with this high being. So I would like to ask, in the human world and the power struggle among ourselves, how come from a spiritual aspect there are this type of struggle? If this struggle are similar in the human world, then this high being, can they help us to solve this type of power struggle in the human world or not? The main point is, how come this high being are still just like us with this power struggle that you have to fight with them, with these beings? Thank you, Master. Through this question, I want to share with all of you, listen carefully. The high being, who are they? Who are they? Who are the high being? Who are they? You think the high being are from the heaven? Including the first civilization, the most advanced on earth, they are the humans. Remember, they are in the human flesh just like you. Because at that time, we call them as a high being, but in fact, there's nobody as a high being. But as the human, we worship them. You need to remember, the fifth civilization, like us, I have never seen any human race just like in the fifth civilization. Supposedly, you believe in the deities and God and Buddha, whoever God and Buddha support and they can benefit. And now after the person die and then you worship them as the saint Buddha. It is not all over the world. If this saint Buddha, then the whole world would worship, but they only worship in one aspect. For example, Buddha Sakya. In Buddhism, they only believe in Buddha alone, who gave birth to Buddha. Who is Buddha? And he has the ability as a highest being, but how come he teaches a disciple and this disciple have division among themselves? You can see only in that sense. That is the fifth civilization where we are. That's how I explain to you today. As a human, you can see the human in the flesh. Tradition, culture, family, society, and the one who can work, these are the unknown, and those who have less benefit. And one as a victor, they will worship, and the other as a loser. As I have sent to you the document, in Vietnam they keep on saying the victor are the king, and the loser will turn to be rebels. So over here, as a saint, over here they say the victor worship those who sacrifice as a saint, and over here those who sacrifice for their people are saints. So these two saints, they are the enemies. So you can see how contradicting we are. The victor, they are also become the saint. The loser will also be the saint. The living give posthumous title to these people as saints, and you pray to this saint and angel to help you. And then you are praying to these people. That is tradition, culture, family, society. They worship a certain being as the high being. But can the high being help you? And the high being tell you, do you believe or not? That is a contradiction in the human world. From a Buddhist standpoint, more or less, I study about the Buddhist scripture. Buddha is love and compassion to teach the human world. And then the disciple, how many people can really listen Buddha? No. If they listen, they would divide. They have many different group of Buddhism. They have different sect of Buddhism. They have so many sect of Buddhism. And over here they said that with a wife you cannot become enlightened. But Buddha did not force you not to do it. Is that right? How come? Because problem. Because of the law restriction, he tried to jump out and then he got arrested. Just let him get married. For the priest, but for the minister, they can get married. For the priest, now I tell you, you force them not to have a normal relationship. Now the Catholics in America, they have to pay the fine, $6 million in the case of many of these priests who abuse children. So you can see, can you imagine? Just let them get married, but no, you try to tell them to, including many of these monks, for vegetarian, and they could not even handle it because we are not any high being. When they are following the vegetarian diet and when they see the meat, they cannot force themselves. So who are the high being? I just say like that. So that is the reality. We have to clearly understand it. Is it right or not? So come back to the point. Several years ago, in the case of 117 saints, in the Bible, they mention after death, if you have the sin, you go to hell, or you go to heaven. If they don't have sin, then they will be already with to the heaven. And many of these people, after death, they don't have sin, then they would be with God already. If God is not able to help them, and if they are in hell, then you cannot give them the title to be a saint. So now, as you canonize them, and then you try to pray, and you place in mystery. I know one is 500, and then this one is 1,000, and the big one 5,000. They place this picture close to the statue of Virgin Mary, and the priest just do a ritual, and then to receive the money, they keep each day. He do the ritual prayer so that to have this name, so $5,000, they can place the name closer to the statue of Virgin Mary, or 500 keep the picture far away, only not the small name. The closer to the statue of Virgin Mary, the more expensive. So, to the question from this student, I just want to share with you. I want to help you to have wisdom, enlightenment, so you can prepare to meet the new soul. So you have a chance to contribute. You need to have an unbiased mind. Do not get influenced by tradition, culture, family, society, so that you lose the energy that this being from the first and the fourth civilization. They want you to have the wisdom. In the future, you have the wisdom, you can help others to have the wisdom, just like this being from the first to the fourth civilization. Now the fifth civilization that God and this being want to train us. That's why we have this class today. Through this question, I just want to analyze for you and carefully and help you. It doesn't mean that we are criticizing people. It's not good to criticizing people. But my mission is to analyze for you. Which you mentioned about the power struggle, about the high being. It is the humans. Only the humans, including the most powerful people, that is from the first civilization, you can see, because of their power and selfishness, and God invited them all back. They cannot stay around. Nobody can stay on earth, because God created all the living creatures. So the voice of God tell you to go or to leave or to stay. You have to follow. So from this principle, it is not the fifth civilization, but in the past they have the same problem. That's why they go back to the deities. Nobody have wisdom, enlightenment. Nobody can teach anyone, because they have power struggle, selfishness. How can I teach others? I tell you the truth. If I'm selfishness and power struggle, I would not teach a higher level. I would cause a lot of problem to the student. I know many of the teaching, they already cause more suffering to the student. There's no purpose. On the spiritual path, you have to be calm and comfortable so that you're able to act, to help people. And once you are relaxed, you can help others. If you are always oppressed, how can you do it? I tell you the truth. I understand. There are many places you go in, You have to torture the body. When I was in the military, the high rank condemned the lower one. You go into the when you go into the monastery, it is the same thing. The bigger one oppressing the smaller one. Some of these monks and priests, they just leave the monastery and then they can just pray to Buddha. As they try to leave the monastery, I have many other students. They cannot handle in the monastery. Many of them they try to leave and they are not able. So as you know, through this presentation, as I said, I clarify for you the most strangest thing that the living giving posthumous title to the dead. How can you? Do you have the capacity to do it? It is so strange. I don't know about the ability that you have, but when the person died and you give a posthumous title to these people who died, and supposedly if you are alive, you can promote like a person as a prime minister or a president or not. But in my country, one of the NGuyền emperor, one of the person who commits suicide to save him, and then he write this name. This person can become an angel. My people 300 years ago, they have a temple for that person, as he's a soldier, and then they pray to that guardian. In the temple, they have a lot of the offering. The more miracle they have, and if it is due to the faith, I do not know about these people who guard the temple, because all of the offering they give to the temple. These people who guard the temple, they eat all of the offering because it worked. If not, then they wouldn't even give us an incense. There is one other soldier. When he was alive, he was only a soldier. After he died, he became the guardian because the king had signed a decree that he is the angel. That is happened in my country. Because you mentioned about the power circle, they are first they are our grandparents. So now we are the grandparents of the children in the future. So now the power circle in the past, so they have the power circle. So now they follow the same way. That is the practical way. I tell you the truth. The first human race, they say that they are high. They still have the power struggle. So to this question, in fact, more or less, you know the one who asked the question, that is my daughter-in-law. She keep on asking. Whenever I come to the house, she would not dare to ask, so she asked in the class. When she asked in the class, that way I can clarify for you. I tell you the truth. I love the humankind in this time. In fact, we are more superstitious than any other religion. The human in this fifth civilization, we are very superstitious. Now, you are afraid of ghosts, the evil spirit, but I tell you the truth. The best sorcerer, how come they do not control the world by casting the spell on the most powerful people on earth? Do they dare to possess any of these leaders? They have the name, they have the photograph. Can they do it? They cannot. As they do it, they may be possessed. If they can do it, then I tell you the truth. Now they control the world. The sorcerers that are controlling the world, we would die. But they cannot do it. Can you see it? It doesn't mean that they can cast a spell. How come they don't do it to this king and the queens so they can have the wealth? the capitalists or the industrialists, the wealthy people. I tell you the truth, that for the Vietnamese, I share with you one of this joke. I'm from the old regime. I'm from the south and you are from the north. I just share with you one of the funny story. These people who are fortune teller and sorcerers, and when the country is unified, they say that all of these sorcerers to report. Then they have to go to concentration camp. They are in jail. How come they don't do all the black magic? When they are in jail, they have to listen to how come they don't cast a spell. At that time, they don't have any black magic anymore. Because I was there, so I know. So after 30 years, now I share with you. So now as we unify the country, I share with you. In the past, if I say it like this, I would be in jail too. That is the truth. That is so difficult. So through this, that is one of the subject for your mind slowly, because you are preparing this higher soul that merge to your body as you are influenced by tradition, culture, family, society, that is blocking your spiritual growth. So through this question, as you ask, when I answer, that is how I can solve for you, so that you can look into yourself, so as you are enlightened and with the ability from the higher soul to come to help your body, so that we are able to help our country, our people. Furthermore, we can help the communities around the world. That is a practical way I want to share with you. These are the experience I learned on the physical and the spiritual path. I want to share with you. I also hope that when I give you a lecture in the level 20, so that you can prepare to meet the new soul to help your people, to help your country and the communities, the world. Tonight, my daughter-in-law, she can sleep peacefully. If not, her husband will have to take care of the baby, so she can sleep. Now in Holland,
hello, Master Nang. Hello, Teresa. I am very thankful that I can be here and that I was able to follow you all the years until this last highest level. I have a question and a remark. A remark and a question. At level 19, I have told about my son-in-law who has chronic lymphatic leukemia, and I asked if I could treat the medicaments at the distance, and you told me it was not possible. With my son-in-law, since I'm able to merge with him, it goes a lot better. His leukemia is stable at the moment. The blood tests are very good, and it is only in a sleeping situation. Now he had an infection in his head, an infection that is most of the time lethal after his immune system was suppressed. You can have this, and he has to take a lot of medicines for that. Now my question is, when I merge with him 3 times, then he has the medicines in his body. When I use C7, is it then so that also the substances, the toxins in his body also will be neutralized, that the toxins, the toxic medicaments also are not doing his the work they should do. And I also thank you for all the years that you have treated my son-in-law with intervals, and I'm very thankful for that. And the fact that he is still alive after 15 years, we thank certainly to you and to God. Thank you, Master. I cannot find the word. This boy had an infection in his brain. It is a mold infection. The medical term is aspergillus. Teresa will know what it is. It is a mold, a mushroom. I cannot find the word. Sorry.
Now you listen carefully in the case of treatment and according to the new formula as I have guided you. In the case of severe problem, then you receive the light of God aura 2 seconds and send 3 seconds to the chakra 7 of the patient. Then you merge to the chakra 6 of the person 3 times. That's all you can do. And you continue to do that every day. But when you transfer energy like that, I explained to you whether, regardless of any medication that the person takes, the medication would not have cause side effect inside the body. Additionally, if your son-in-law, or if you wish, besides the fact that the medication that you give each day, he can take 90 ml of the EV garlic water, and each day instead of drinking the normal water. But if he can drink the EV water when you boil the EV water to drink, or you can use the EV water for him to drink to replace the other normal water. So hopefully your son-in-law will improve the immune system. Slowly he will recover faster. Perhaps he will be able to live longer. That is my opinion to share with you. In the case of using the EV garlic water or you drinking the EV water, as I had allowed, if you wish to drink the EV water to replace the normal drinking water, that is my opinion for you. But whether you want to do it or not, it is up to you to decide. That is how I present. For the medication, don't worry, because the drug that you had when they drink, you are able to help to improve the effectiveness of the drug, and they do not cause any other negative side effect when that person, regardless of any person who take the medication, including for you yourself who take the medication after you transfer energy, you can improve the effectiveness. Next question.
Hello, Master. In April 1994, I went to the Grand Mott with you. You opened our chakras 100% and taught level 4. Between the 2 days, I suffered severe shock and could not go on. I got into my car and drove 40 kilometers back towards my house before turning around and returning for the course. Later, at home, my chakra 1 opened spontaneously, without any interaction on my own part. You have always repeatedly refused to open chakra 1 when requested or discussed it. Mine pops open all the time. I have felt a mixture of guilt and apprehension ever since. And second, I've seen the spirit leave the body 3 days before death.
Put on your headphones.
Okay. I've seen the spirit leave the body 3 days before death and also 3 days after death. and on hold back from leaving at all. Is the spirit a psyche, or is it the soul? What exactly have I witnessed? When I started UE, I was alcoholic and smoked 60 cigarettes a day. This I stopped by level 2. I was not a nice person or a very glad person. As an artist, I had not painted for 25 years. My self-respect was very low. For the last 15 years or 14 years, my painting has gone well, and my self-esteem has recovered a lot. I thank you a lot for everything. Okay.
Through the presentation of this student, as you asked the question, I remember each time when I have a class, this artist sent to me a drawing. Regardless where you are, you send the drawing to me. I remember. I'm glad that this time, even though you are learning indirectly from me, you are in Holland, and you're seeing my picture, and I see that your health is stabilized, and you are speaking English fluently. I remember because this artist always send your drawing to me, either by courier from friends who send to me. As you know, if our body will have the mission, then our soul has to go according to the level of our body. So the soul will help the body, so we can learn and we progress and help people. This is not the first time a student that had go through like in a society with many of the bad habits, alcoholic, discouraged. But when you have the energy, when the deities had chosen you, when you know how to use universal energy, and universal energy meaning that is the deities who help us, you are able to solve this problem. I am glad that the student you are able to come to the level 20 in Holland, and through your presentation, it will be just like many other students around the world. So in the large UE family, I do not deny anyone from any race, regardless of what you do in the past. I'm glad to accept you to come to learn so that I can help you. That is because you need, then I help you. That is how I explain clearly for you through the presentation of this student from Holland, and who is also an artist in France, as I know, for the past many years. In the case you think about the chakra one, I explained for you all of that. Yeah. As through your wish or your desire, you want for it to be activated. In fact, all of the chakras, that is only a way I base on the books in the human world to prove to you certain things, so that I can teach you until now today. You come the people with wisdom enlightenment, so that you become just like these four group of civilization that they already had the wisdom enlightenment. It doesn't mean that you come to learn AOE in level 1, you have the chakra open 30%, and level 2, chakra open 60%, and level 3, open chakra 100%. I want to guide you so you are used to the flow of universal energy, and that is energy the deities allow us to have from each level, so that to increase our faith, to give us the chance to contribute to have all the soul from low to high. And many of you from level 3, you are able to apply. And this student had mentioned about the vision that you see before 3 days, after 3 days of death. As you see the vision, I want to share with you at the moment of death. If a normal body, then the soul will follow not just 3 days. It will follow until the body is buried or cremated. Then the soul sometimes go, or sometimes it's not going anywhere. But then how come for the Indian, after death they cremate the body, After they cremate the body, there's no where for the soul to stay around, so they have to reincarnate. They do not hang around to the body. For that reason, the tradition for the Indian, after death, they cremate the body. But for all the country in the past, they bury the body, but later on they cremate the body. After burying, the souls follow and sitting there at the burial ground. Hopefully the body can be awakened so they can enter, but the body is dead forever. That is a situation 50,000 years ago. The master in Atlantis, they're also waiting for 5,000 years and they could not reincarnate. After I went to Egypt 16 years ago, everything has changed greatly, meaning they were able to merge here and there to contribute to help to develop the spiritual path for the humankind. That is the master in Egypt until now today. As you are very fortunate that I received the message from the deities, all of the first civilization on earth, they have wisdom and enlightenment, but due to their greed, selfishness, power struggle, for that reason, at this moment, as we are living here, we are the last human race. I do not want to confirm whether we are from the first, fourth, or fifth human race, but we are able to help and have the support from the other soul, from the other civilization, so that we all combine our effort to help all over the world to have wisdom and enlightenment without the problem of power struggle or selfishness. This soul who want to merge with you on that point. So for sure, whether you want to have power or not, they will block you. However, those who with the power, if you love or you hate them, a number of you love, a number of you hate them. Whether you love or you hate them, you just merge. If that person they do according to his mission, then for sure he would last and he will go higher. If that person does not do with the right technique or the principle, doesn't apply with everything the deities had given to them, or do the wrong things, then for sure they would automatically resign and leave. And that is how I share with you, so you can understand and you know through the presentation of the student who can see these visions, and as I mentioned to you about these visions. So this morning I had guided you when a person died, perhaps after in the 6 hour period, you can help with the condition that it is not in the morgue. If they kept in the morgue, when the body is still at home to prepare to go to the morgue, then you keep on merging half an hour period. Who knows? You are fortunate, you are able to change the soul of that person, or you can help the soul of that person to return back to the bodies, to revive the body, so to bring the means for people to learn and progress. I analyze clearly for you through the presentation and the question from the students from Holland. And now, as I see in many of the levels, you ask about the difference about soul and spirit. So now, for us in UE, we use the term soul. Well, for the spirit, it is better to unify. For us in our school, we use the word soul to denote the soul. That means the former soul from the civilization from the past coming into the new body. This is our body at this time. One of the joy for these people, you know why? In the past, their height may be 30, 40 meter. Now we are just like the short people, just like the short people on earth. And all of the wisdom, enlightenment of the soul from this being, they can help us to have wisdom and enlightenment, so we can help mankind to avoid the case we don't have the problem with selfishness or power greed. With the power we have, we try to help people. In that way we can last. That is the reason that I teach you to merge to those who are powerful, whether they are right or wrong. You just merge to help them. If they do right, they will go higher. If not, they will automatically resign. We do not love or hate or abandon them. We only know how to help so they can complete their own mission. Whether they can do it long or short, that is up to them, not us. We only have the mission and the ability to merge, to support the body and the soul of that person. And if that is influential people, for example. Now go on, next question.
Bonjour maître.
Good morning, master. Thank you, the translators, for their work. From what I heard lately, I had at the beginning a very precise question, but now from what I heard, I'm going to change my question a little bit. I have something which came to my mind regarding our being here on this earth. As you said, from the beginning of the course, maybe in this school we have, from the beginning of the history of humankind, we have a great problem with power. Because for us, it took at least 10 years to finally manage to understand what power is and how bad power is and how bad the struggles for power are. Now, we have to understand that we have to change every day. You know, the higher beings, apparently we are all higher beings, if I understood you right. I don't know how to explain what I feel. How come if we're united, and how come as being higher beings that we supposedly have the same path and we go in the same direction, how come we fall into the trap of the power struggles? How come we let that thing to overcome us? How come it imposes itself on us? Thank you, Master.
Through this question, let me share with you to bring the light of joy for you. For the past few days, as well as today, I mentioned to you that your road will be straightforward. If anyone, not anyone in particular, if they try to block your progress, then they will leave you. They will be far away from you. It is not you who depart from them. That is the first thing. Secondly, for those who are powerful, if they are on this earth, these are the people from the first to the fourth civilization. They have learned through all the experience already. They know all through. They see that there's no benefit for the humankind. There's no benefit for them, their own evolution. For that reason, we need them to merge with us, as they will know how to help us. In the past until now, your soul, more or less, it will be the same. The first, it would be the same as the one who follow. We do not want to go on another route. You may be lost, so you follow the same path like the one who go previously. So whatever they did in the past, you follow the same way. So you will see the changes in the environment. And I also remind you, the deities allowed us to contribute to protect the country, the people, and the deities allow you to have the mission. Then you can benefit 30%. it is better than you try to take in 100 and then you only give 10 or 20, you try to keep 80 and then you would not last. I understand in the past. That is one of the joy for the humankind. It doesn't mean that God forced you to work so hard and you cannot eat or you have enough clothing. So you work hard, but you can benefit 30% in 100. 30% is little, but in a billion, then 300 million, it is different. I tell you, I don't know about your thinking, but to me, even if I have a lot of money, I don't know what to do with it. They tell me to do business, to invest. I said I have the money, I only know how to eat. I don't do anything, I only be the master. That's all I can do. I can be the master, but not a merchant. As a businessman, whoever I invest, they will bankrupt, so nobody dare to invest with me. Many people who try to ask me to do business, so we have to put in the investment together with my name. Whatever I do, then they will go bankrupt. Do you dare? So they leave me alone. They just help me to sending peanuts to me. It's better than to have my support with their business. Nobody want to do business with me in the past. Before I was teaching, I have many of my friends who try to help me, to establish a place to do business. I said I'm only a master. When I do business, then I will go bankrupt. So they said when they have the money, they will send to me. I cannot do business. Whenever they try to give me the business to do, and I'll help. I can help others to do good, but I myself, if I do it, I will bankrupt because I only eat. I do not do the work. I only do nothing, or even doing the master. That's all I can do. I only eat. I don't do either. I do nothing or I be a master. I just share with you like that, so you know in the future you can see the change in the environment. You don't worry about it. The reason for the past few days as well as recently, I advise for you to merge to those who are powerful people. So it is their mission. They have a lot, but they don't have the sufficient energy. You have the energy. You support them, so they can complete the mission to contribute to help so many people. However, if they do right, if they go wrong, then they will resign. Similarly for you, eventually these people will stay away from you as they don't have the common thinking like you, because these are the one with wisdom and enlightenment who want to train so that we have the wisdom and enlightenment. If you have the one to have power, if you want to be selfish, you cannot. Because these beings are always close to you to train you to be very good in order to help mankind. This being who borrowed your body, as the body has been chosen by deities, it's not that I can recommend person A, B, or C. As you can see, there are many people in us. Sometimes they will stay away from you. You say that because they dislike you, but it's not. I mentioned to you already. It is because the chain of your soul, the soul of this body of the student, they are different. But the soul of the student, they are different. Not like those who are in the first to the fourth civilization. These are so in the level 16 up to the level 19. If this soul want to merge with your soul in the level 20, then for sure this soul can evolve faster. And for these people, you have a chance that the other soul will merge with you to help mankind. At this moment, I cannot confirm whether we have the level 20 or not. The time is long or short, I do not know. But the most important part is for sure on the 8th or the 9th in the 8th to the 12th in Europe or in South America, or the 9th to the 13th in August, I will have another level 19. In the level 19, that from South America, for half this time, there are many clever, profound subjects as I mix, so that a number of you, the level 19 to recognize, but for the soul. you're not able to. My point here is meaning the change of the new soul. For those who are ahead of us, as these people who are ahead of us, with their level of wisdom and enlightenment, as they had asked our body to help our physical body, so we don't have the problem of power struggle and selfishness. On that point, I confirm with you for sure it would come to you to help you so that you become a person, truly a good person. Eventually, a number of your friends, a number of your family, they can see the change in your personality as to bring the light of joy, to bring the benefit for all those people. And you can benefit from this. That is how I explained for you, so you don't have to worry about the case of power struggle and selfishness. On this, in the past, they may have it, in future, they don't. If you are fortunate that these souls from these people in the past, that they can merge with our body to contribute to help mankind. So next question in Holland.
Sì. No.
Angelo Fausta.
Camera. Ah.
I know.
Sono belli. Sono belli.
Totale. Buongiorno maestro. Morning master. Today I am a bit more happy to be here. I have to admit that it has been very difficult to decide to be here, to come. I didn't want to come anyway. I didn't want to. Then suddenly a thought told me I had to be here, and now I start to understand why. You told us that we have to try to find wisdom for the body and enlightenment for our soul. In the 3 last months, during the meeting between our soul and my soul and body, there has been some confusion. This body has risked to leave this earth beforehand, and my soul was desperate. I was getting mad. At the beginning of these 2 days, you told us that we have to try to live, that God works through us, to be in His hands. And in these 2 days, I see myself as a
Ma è il grosso verme. Ma io.
The snail. But who am I in the end? My body, they taught me it's a tool. My soul is something that has its own life, let's say. So now I hope that the new one will know how to deal with my body. I've never had any certainties. There's a big difference between you and us, is that you know who you are and we do not know it. What luck. What lucks. I don't recognize myself in my body, don't recognize myself in my soul. So this word is made out of relationships between people, and all the energies of the micro and the macrocosm and microcosm. I can't understand where's my place in these relationships. And when we talk about merge, and in a vocabulary, merge means that two or more things are become an only thing. So if we obtain an only thing, there are no more relationships. From a spiritual point of view, I can understand it very clearly. But in this world, I can't see how we can do it. I think it's very tough, very difficult to do. I ask you this help, Master. How can I at least imagine this? Many thanks, Master. I hope this is clear. I really hope.
Now, from the past until now, as you see, all the books had written through many eras for the humankind to learn, to research, to progress. I do not want to mention about thousands of years. I just want to mention the recent 25 centuries. From the time in the East, the West, always mentioned about the yin and yang, man and woman. Good, bad, right, wrong. I just want to explain to you in these 2 points so you can understand. That is the human in human form. We cannot blame. It is the very limited. So how can we have wisdom when we can still see good, bad, right, wrong? That is the reality. That is in the human world that causes us to block our wisdom. Due to tradition, culture, family, society that are blocking us. So we are unable to learn, to be able to have that wisdom. In one way, we say we believe in high being. We pray to the high being. The high being is teaching us about all the living creatures. We are all children of God. God created all of the living creatures. We are all children of God, but we do not believe in God. As you are giving the books for people, and you preach or you write the books for people, but you don't believe. That is the greatest error of the humankind at this time. If we believe, then we would not suffer. If we believe, then we would not boast, have the problem with our ego. We would not judge right or wrong. We would not say black or white. If we believe, we do not have the yin and yang. Then now we say that the yin and the moon and the yang and the sun. Yin is the sun and the yin and the phoenix. So I base on this teaching for the past 25 centuries in order to help you so that today you can reach that wisdom and enlightenment. After 2,000 years, after 2,500 years in the principle of yin and yang, is there anyone who can achieve it? But then how come they put you asleep? How come they try to teach people with yin and yang? How come you mention about good and evil? Then how come you say that all the living creatures that are from God, the macro and micro cosmic universe, how come we are all from the same source, children of God, but how come we don't love each other? All of our ancestors, do we love them? No. Our ancestors, if we don't even love them, how can you love others? In your own religion, you don't even love each other, how can you love other religion? Your own people who live with you, in your own homeland, you don't even love them, how can you love others? Your ancestor, you don't worship, how can you worship the other's ancestors? That is a contradiction in the human world. I don't want to say much. Only in the recent 25 centuries, from the time when Buddha passed away, when Jesus Christ taught and Jesus Christ returned back to the deities. When the highest being taught us and they all returned back to the deities, how many people succeed? How many people can listen to the deities? Think about it. If we believe in the deities absolutely, then for the past many thousand years, we would not have wars, we would not have suffering, we would not have constant war in the 20th century. We have wars in all five, north, south, east, west, in everywhere on all five continents. You can see. Now you say that your position in the micro and macro cosmic universe, I share with you so that you can return back to that stage of wisdom, and you do not have contradiction. You believe in God. There's one. There's only one God. There's no two. All the living creatures, we are all children of God. There's just one. Yin and Yang, right and wrong. There are two. Then they don't have wisdom and enlightenment. But then, in this unity, that is the highest being here, God, never been on this earth. That is the air. That is zero. It has the highest power, symbolize the energy, symbolize the air, symbolize the number zero, not one. But from one, return back to zero. You know who is the number one? That's you, the humans, return back to that number zero. It is not the man, heaven, man, and earth that have unity. That is from the East that they wrote. I use the fake from the human world to guide you so that you can find the truth, to return back to zero. From one to zero. From name and title to become unknown, because God has no name. Because the humans give the names, but in fact He's zero, no names. But God can create all the living creature, contain everything. I just want to guide you from one to return back to zero. It's not that from two return to one. No. Before I teach level 20, if you have the names and titles, whether you have name or you may die, but with no name you may live. With no name you are living, with energy zero, you do not belong to anyone. That's why you live. Tradition, culture, family, society, you do not belong in them. So you can have eternal life. Our life, our knowledge, that is to contribute to help mankind. That is the latest lesson for the newest society, the newest world. To be able to endure the changes of the climate, to endure through the change of the Earth axis. In the past, is there any book that mentioned that in 24 hours in a day? No. 3 or 4 times with the great floods. 3 or 4 times the changes on Earth. How come hundreds of thousands or millions of years ago, how many hours in a day? And the Earth axis, they have to rotate for 24 hours. Can we go around the moon or not? Nobody can prove. This is necessary, but nobody say. So how come now we have 24 hours in a day? In the past, how many hours in a day? Do they calculate with the time calendar? Nobody would know. That's all. In the 3-dimensional world, how can you know the 4th dimension? I just give a simple like that. Nobody would know the answer. I explain, they don't listen, but they believe. That is 16 years ago when I came to Egypt. I'm an ordinary person to come as a tourist, just like others. I just say that the pyramids not 5,000 years. The books write 5,000 years. They sold for millions of copies all over the world to research about Egyptian. When they come and say that the pyramid was around 5,000 years, and they have the king and queen in a chamber. But then before that time, nobody died. 1,000 years before that time, nobody died. The book mentioned that the pyramid was around for 5,000 years, and for the death, it doesn't mean that before that time, for thousands of years, nobody died. So you can see, when you follow the path, you need to have the wisdom on that point. When you ask, they don't have any answer. They are stuck. They say that to build, they use architecture design to build. But I asked where they can find the stone in the middle of Sahara Desert. There's only sand. The nearest mountain with the small rocks. They don't have any device to cut the square blocks that they can place with millions of these blocks. And they draw this, they say that using this, and in the film they say that they use many of these animals to carry the rocks. As you can see it, I know it is science fiction. It is not real. It is man-made. And when they try to do that, encounter Master Dang, I ask, they are stuck. They can write in a book, they talk just like a parrot, but when I ask, they are stuck, they don't have the answer. I said, this is very clever, and I mentioned where they can find the rocks. Nobody answer. And they mentioned that they use architecture design. I asked where they can find a stone, large stone, to build the pyramids. I came to Egypt, I came to Cairo, they had 3 pyramids. I just asked one question, nobody answers. And when the news media, they mentioned that the pyramids were at least 14,000 years, and they try to look for me, and I disappear. I turn invisible, and I return back to France, meaning I'm going to the aircraft and go. That is how I share with you through the question I mentioned to you. If you have the mission, then they are waiting for you. There are many people with all the condition to learn, and people come to learn that they stay behind. There are many people who do not have the means to go, and for sure you could not go, but then you end up in a class, you can go in. This time I see it is 3 people from Vietnam. You walk to Thailand, and you do not have any register. You say that you lose the paper. When you go to Thailand, to Bangkok, you say that you lose your wallet, lose all the money, and you are still able to be in the class. Meaning these are the people who are very reckless. The Vietnamese, they are reckless. Same case for the American. And some of them, they are, even if they dare, they do that, then Master Dang, I would have to accept because of the love. I could not drive them home. So when they come here, then they have to be admitted. This time, there's 2 Vietnamese and one of the American. Over here, when they see the Caucasian, we say that they are the Tây, meaning that Westerner. I just share with you. I just want to share with you. I understand the mentality of this student. As you know, I see the student I know. He helped a lot to UE, and he's a normal person. You have a lot of ability. With your creativity, you are able to contribute to help UE a lot. So I advise not just this student. When you come to this level 20, more or less, God has chosen your body. Even if you want to give up, even if you want to die, you cannot. Listen carefully. Even if you want to die, it's so difficult. I tell you the truth. Eventually, after this class, listen carefully. Today is the 3rd day of the class. You apply after the end of the day. After 1 week after the class, perhaps you do it 1,000 times more. It's not like you are applying now in this class, in this level 20. That's how I want to give you the answer. I show you the answer so you can try your best to do the calculation. And with this calculation, meaning that you are applying to help many situations. The nearest one would be to help your country, your family. That is how I show you the road. And you want to find your position in the micro or macro universe. You don't have the ability. Master Dang, right here, as I have the ability to teach for 18 years, that is because right next to Master Dang, there is a soul. There are so many cases that Master Dang had taught you. There are so many cases. The student asked the soul Master Dang, who I am. For the last time I answered for you, the soul Master Dang is the unknown soul who never been on this earth. So I do not step on any toes. As your products, you have it. So my products, it's the latest one, but it is not similar to yours. With my products, nobody dare to buy it. Even if it's not interfering with yours, because it's still new, nobody would use. Only those who are the level 20, they would dare to use it. 6 billion people, only 1,541 of you. So the percentage is very small. So I will be stuck because my products 6 billion people, I only can sell to 1,541 of you. Level 19, they cannot buy it. The level 19, they cannot merge with me. So you can see, that is how I explain for you in a physical and spiritual way, so you can learn. From a medical perspective, if you explain like this, people would laugh at you. But to you, as I teach, and I share with you the funny story, so it's easy for you to grasp. So any level in society, when you come to the class, as I explain, you can grasp just like similarly. That is my way of teaching. Whether in the class, regardless of any class, any levels of people in the class, you are able to apply with the same technique. Do not think that you learn more and you understand more, you can do it better. You may not. The important part is, do you dare to sacrifice or not? You can sacrifice the small so you can do the bigger task. This is more important. Do not think that you are learning, you have a high diploma and you this is the only diploma in the material. The spiritual diploma is more important. The diploma in the human world, that is your limited learning, but this diploma is infinite. However, in the human world, they want to prove by using the diplomas. So the deities have chosen me and you already. We don't have anything, but when the deity, whatever they want to give, then you can have everything. Money, fame, career, you can create. But the physical and the spiritual diploma, it is so difficult to achieve. There are so many billionaires, they don't have any diplomas. And now if they want to have a diploma, they cannot. If they need to, they have to come to LaungH from a lower to the high levels. Then when they go to level 13, then they would be able to meet the criteria to have the diploma for complementary medicine. Now I do not want to violate the regulation from the university. That is how I share with you through the presentation. Truthfully, from the student who presented to me, I know this student for a long time. From the time when I came to Italy to teach the lower to the higher levels, and in the higher levels, perhaps this student travel here and there whenever I teach, and this student who also came to learn in person with me many times. So I just want to share more or less this student, for sure, as the deities and God has chosen your body to serve, to help in many situations, and in nearest, that is in your own profession, you are able to have so many difficulty situations that you may face. I don't want to introduce this student, but I know for sure this student will have many other contribution. That is how I share with you in general. And now, the significance and spiritual significance of merging. You and me, we don't have the ability in human form from the gene from our ancestor who gave birth to us in human form. So in the three-dimensional world, we are not able to learn completely yet. So how can you have the ability to help? You cannot. For sure we cannot. If a normal body, and if that body, he can use only 6% of the brain, no more or less. And it's only within the three-dimensional world. When you come to learn the higher levels, meaning from the level 13 and higher, then your brain, you can use so many different dimensions. If you have the ability to measure, then for sure, your brain, our brain, we are able to use more percentage, not just like 6%. Because you are in both scenario. Materially, you help people with health, and spiritually, you are helping the wandering soul to the light. For a human world, they would require 70 years, not 7 weeks or 7 days. I just want to remind you like that so you can understand that it's God who chose our body, and also God has sent our soul to be appropriate with your level of the body. In that way, you are able to act to help others. And those who are ahead of us always reminded us to do good, to act to help people, to sacrifice to help others. Then we have everything. To have everything here, meaning the deities allow us. But in the human world, when they give us, they will not dare to give to us. And if for us, we do not need the praise from the human world. The important part is whether the deities who give to us only one, it will be equal to 100 or 1,000 times in the human world. This is more important. The diploma from our deities who give to us, it has a value all over the world. They have a global value in the human world. Your drawing, you can apply within your own profession. With the deities who give you the diploma, you can apply in many aspects. Either it is physically or spiritually. There is no school that can teach you. You can succeed in both spiritual and material. In the past, until now, we don't have any of this existence. In the beginning of the 21st century, we have the school of UE. When you are able to merge, to come to learn UE, you learn in two, meaning that you are clear in the physical and the spiritual path to be able to help others. It is not that I tell you to wait. No, you learn, you do it right away, you see result. That is how I share with you, so you can understand, as you know, our mission, that the deities have chosen our body, the deities who send an appropriate body to help. Just like recently, this student had mentioned, who thought that you cannot go, or you don't want to go. But God has chosen your body already, so you cannot go against it. And your body will be guided to the class, so that the soul who are waiting there, the soul of these people with wisdom and enlightenment, so that they can merge with us, so that we can help others to have wisdom and enlightenment. That is how I explain for you clearly. It is not just this student who presented, but most of you in 3 locations, the students who are here in this level 20, in the recent days and in the following days. Now it's time for Thailand.
Respected Master, Lady Teresa, and my male friends, greeting from India. Thanks for the notes and the documents you have summed up so well, and you made it very clear about the definition of ego, which no other book has given. What is ego and how it evolves? Thank you very much, Master. I want to clarify 2 things to you, and a small technical question and a request. Clarification is, in level 19, when I emerged with a person, suddenly I felt breathlessness and heavy chest. Is it possible the lower beings will come directly to us like this? In that case, how to protect ourselves? Second case, when I treated a lady who was possessed for 20 years, she asked me water. I gave her little UU water. She said, your water is so bitter. Night when I took the UU water, that was so bitter, and I had a nausea, a vomiting feeling. Is it possible that lower beings will do such things? Now question, Master. You said we can emerge with the statues. When we go to church, there are many statues. Must I emerge one by one? Or if I say I emerge with all of you and remain 30 seconds in silence? Second, you say a new soul is coming to us. Is it our choice to choose, or they are choosing our body? Is it possible to know them more? Now you say every time to call your soul. Tell us the truth, Master, whether your soul was replaced by Jesus' soul or God's itself. I ask you this because in 1st of July, we had a general body meeting. I suddenly saw a light and I was wondering from where. Then we saw in my laptop I had your photo, but suddenly our Jesus and Maria photo was replaced in your photo. When I zoomed that photo, it was 3-dimensional picture of you, Jesus and Maria. So I was really wondering what that message brings to me. To request, are you coming to Sri Lanka for the World Congress? If so, please visit India, Master. You say you will appear in the TV. Are you going to teach through TV? If so, let us know your program. I would like to know whether you are going to teach level 16, 17, 18 again. So thank you very much, Master, for teaching all the lessons what you have received from above and made each one of us a little Master Dang. I promise you, I will do my best in India. Thank you very much, Master.
Now, let me explain for you. I understand for this student from India, there are many times you want to invite me to come to visit India, but to go to India, I tell you the truth. I'm now in the cold climate, I'm so used to it now, I could not endure in the hot climate. And secondly, I don't have that much time, only except if by great fortune, I may come to visit your country. If I come to one country, in another country, it may cause a problem. If to go to many countries, I don't have enough time to visit all the country. So whether I can come to visit India, depending on our fate, the fate of the country, whether I can come there first or later, depending on the fate and destiny. If I cannot come, then wait for. If I cannot come, then you wait for the next time. So that is the best. Now, through your question, I want to share with you. You listen carefully. One more time, I want to tell you, when you are from the level 7, the lower soul never hurt you or possess you. If you are in a level 6, sometimes this soul may give you the signal, but they never harm you. In a level 7, this soul automatically leave, except if these are the higher soul that they come to protect your body. And unintentionally or intentionally you try to drive them away, then you may have some problem if you interfere with them. In other situations, you don't have to worry. You know the iwi garlic water, you know who reside in there? That you say that there's a lower soul. There is no other soul who can interfere with the iwi garlic, iwi water. Where does you have the iwi water? It is the deities who reveal to me. The light of God's aura you send into that iwi water. There is no other energy that can destroy your iwi water, influence it. Who has that ability? Where do you get that energy to make the iwi water? So that you know. Otherwise, if you say like that, people will laugh at you. Just like I mentioned to you, when you if I present to you and you pray to God and you don't even believe in God, God taught you, you say yes, and you go out and you say no. That is how it is in the human world. So that's why you have fear. If you keep on saying yes, and if you agree, in the human world, all the living creatures, good and bad, they're all children of God, and you don't be afraid of them, but you don't believe. That's why you are afraid of them. If you fear them, then you start to pray and you pray, and then you have fear, and then you lose your faith. You just have faith, and then you lose faith. So that is your nature in the human world. That is the yin and yang principle. So one more time, I remind to all of you, through the question from this student from India who comes to Thailand to learn, this time you are in the level 20. I confirm and share with you, never ask the question similarly like this, and never have the mentality that you are afraid of the wandering soul. My God, you are in this level and you are still afraid of the wandering soul to possess you, to harm you. You're not afraid of the living people. You are just keep on afraid of the dead. Now you don't have to worry. If they want to rob you, you just merge with them. Even if they try to rob you, they give you back everything that they take. The moment that let's say they take your fake jewelry, and then you merge with them, they give you back the real jewelry. If you want to, this is something you can do. I tell you the truth, you can do this. They just steal something to real jewelry, and then they take away your fake jewelry, and then when you merge with them, they give you back the two real jewelry that they took away. If you want to do this, then many of these thieves, they will come to see you, and suddenly you have more money, so you can pay for the course. I have a pity for you. Now, through this question, I want to share with you, as you go to the church, there are so many angels. The statue of Buddha, or the statue of the angel, Christ, or Mary, instead of merging to one of the statue, collectively, just like you are doing collectively, this is not the treatment in the church. There are many of the, let's say there are many of the statue. You just pray to the Soul Master Dang to merge with you 3 times, and then you merge completely to the whole church 3 times, and then your energy would go to all of the statue in that church. So you listen carefully. If there's one, then you do it one. If there are many for collectively, then you merge 3 times. So that is easy for you, so you don't get confused in any situation. If treatment or merging, let's say for example, you merge to the altar of mankind ancestor, you merge 3 times. Let's say the monument of the unknown soldier, you merge 3 times. And the statue of Virgin Mary, you merge 1 time. If you want to merge to the statue of Virgin Mary and Kuan Yin for 2 of them, then you merge 3 times for 2 statues. And if you do not use it, you do it to the statue of Virgin Mary 1 time, and to each statue 1 time. Sometimes you believe on one side, you don't believe in the other, but nobody forces you not to believe. That is so strange in the human world. More or less, I'm from the Buddhist tradition. I believe the most in Jesus and Mary. Whether you believe or not, I don't have any comments. But I myself, whenever I go to Paris, I go to Lourdes, I come to pray to Mary. I kneel down and pray to her. Even though the Virgin Mary is from the Catholics, and I'm not a Catholic. Only her age, comparing to my, I do not know how I can see many thousands of years. We are only very young, comparing to her age. And our ancestor, great-grandparents, only several hundred years, not more. So I want to share with you so that about the faith in the deities, to have faith in the deities. If these deities, if they don't have the ability, then they would not have millions of followers or billions of followers. So there is something, then for sure, they have something. That is the ability to bring the means for the humankind after 20th century, that we are praying and respect them. That is how I explain for you on that. Now, one soul, you almost die, and you ask to know all the souls. That's why you are afraid of all the ghosts. You are a Catholic, and she's a sister, but she's also afraid of the ghost. She's always afraid of this ghost. Now you are in the level 20. If I don't say that, you go back home and you're still afraid of these ghosts or lower souls. I explain to you. Each of you have your own mission. I do not want to say that this 1, 2, 3, 4 people from the first or up to the 4th civilization to merge with you. It is God who chose your body, and the soul of the 1st to the 4th civilization, depending on each body appropriate, then they merge to your body to help you. So this time you see the change. Many of you see the change in a positive way. And if you want to go downhill, that is you want to go down, because they want to bring you up so you can serve mankind, using your body to help your body so you can serve mankind. to help you so that we never have the problem of selfishness and never use power or have power struggle. If you have power, it is very limited. Without power, then it is infinite. Because you want to have power, and you cannot conquer all. Power in one group, in one region. If without power, you can go all over the world. You have the name well known in one area, but no name, you can go to everywhere. You can go all over the world. That's how I explain for you in simple ways so you can understand. So don't worry. With everything I teach you in this level 20, as I'm preparing your mind to meet a new soul that you're able to apply. When you see the strange phenomenon, the changes in your body, then you don't worry. Or the action of people in the past around you that caused you to feel emotion, feel anger, feel the grudges, now they would clear for you. You don't have the influence by tradition, culture, family, society that cause you to feel sadness, discouraged, do not cause you to lose your faith. So all of that focus, these are the one with this being, with the ability to help your body, so that you can feel calm and at peace in order to help your country and your people. Furthermore, you can help the communities in the world. Now, my God, how come you don't see Buddha? How come you keep on seeing Jesus and Mary? You know why? Because each day you keep on praying and about Virgin Mary and Jesus. That's why you keep on seeing Jesus and Mary. I tell you, have you ever seen the real face of Jesus or Mary? I tell you the truth. Sometimes Jesus is Buddha, do you know? Or Virgin Mary is Kuan Yin, do you know? No. You have never seen their face. The Master Dang with the mole on the right, and you keep on saying, argue that it is on the left. And then when they, my face, you see the mole, I keep on telling you, when you see Master Dang, my mole is on the right side. And in the past, I do not dye my hair. Many of my students who learned from me for 10 years, and I said that today, the brother Master Dang who come, I said that they keep on arguing with each other. That this person said that the brother Master Dang is not here, because in the past my hair was white, now my hair is they forgot about the mole. Some of the students who are right here, they keep on arguing with each other. Nobody there was saying, they listen to me, because I'm not thinking that I'm not Master Dang. When I'm over here, they say that that's not Master Dang. If they say that the Master Dang has a mole on the right, but they keep on thinking about my hair, my hair color, because I also joke with them. I call them. I say that Master Dang is busy. The brother Master Dang, you. So they said that unluckily, but they do not know that I don't have a brother. But they keep on believing because I look so much so alike. Except only the white hair and the black hair, so they are arguing each other. These are the students who are right here. If I go for 20 years, but only a few years, they forgot about Master Dang. They keep on thinking that is the brother Master Dang, and then later on I said that it is me now. When I come, but they do not recognize the mole on the face. So now I tell you, the mole, remember, right under my right eyes. In the film, it might be reversed when they make a mistake when they do the reverse. So they keep on saying it is on the left. Sri Lanka, I do not know because the date in the program this year for the university in Colombo, that is on the 11th to the 13th in November. On that day, I cannot confirm whether I can go or not. If not, I will send my representative. I already sent to Colombo already. I will try to make arrangement if I can. If not, then I will send my representative to come to the World Congress, the 45th Congress in Sri And now the schedule, perhaps this year, I will be teaching less, but I try my best because I let you organize the level 19 for South America. That will include a number of the country in Europe. So after the level 19 that I teach for South America, I will have the program later. Now I cannot make any promises yet. After the level 19, then with any change or anything needed, I may announce to you by email or through the center so you know. Now, second person in Thailand.
Dear Lady Teresa, our great master, Sir Luong Minh ĐÁNG. Hello. Dear Sir Luong Minh ĐÁNG and Lady Teresa, with the best wishes, with endless respect towards the great divine plane and respect towards your great purpose, I'm welcoming all the students being here at the seminar. Dear Sir Luong Minh ＤÁNG, from the books of Keys of Enoch, I know that there is not only negative program of Lucifer about which we know, but there are 21 of such programs. We are at level 20. Does that mean that in cases when we are in individual informational fields of students of universal energy, the presence of this energy transfers those energies, helps those energies to change the negative energies. And you've given us the formula how we can heal. So that is more or less clear. Is there a possibility that universal energy can help to transmute, to change negative energies of karmic incarnations, which is destructive for chakras of earth? Those chakras of earth receive those negative energy from people which are living in various geopathogenic zones through which some negative energy flows go throughout our earth. You know, there are cases when houses are being built at those points, energy points on earth. There are cases that when people in hospitals, in buildings that were in such negative points were not healing, whilst the same patients with the same disease in other buildings that are situated in other places were getting healed. There were examples with people that were having different diseases. Dear Master ＤÁNG, I'd like to use this possibility to thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for looking my report, and that you allowed me to speak on behalf of Universal Energy at Santa Fe Complementary Medicine Congress. There is also a lady wind being present here in Thailand who is also presenting a report on behalf of Universal Energy at the Santa Fe Congress. There are many questions about universal energy from those who have heard about universal energy and the school of Mel, and about the founder of that school, Sir Luong Minh ＤÁNG. I thank you, dear Master, with love. I'm a Russian student. My name is Valentina Matveeva. Thank you very much.
Now you listen carefully through the presentation. The student from this student, I want to elaborate further for you so you can understand and you know. The part of healing is a small one. The one who can change the mankind mentality, that is the greatest task. That in the human world they cannot do it. The books they write it, they understand. They may have the theory. Perhaps this author, they may understand, they research, they may know 100 or 1,000 times comparing to our knowledge, but they cannot even do 1 of 1,000. I cannot write books. My way of writing books, it is like 1 of 1,000 comparing to them, or my wording is like 1 of 1,000. But I can do it and achieve 100% for the sake of the human world, for all of the living creatures. This is something I can do. So this morning, as well as in the previous seminar, I always mention that the teaching of Lảo in 1,000 subjects, the healing is one of the 1,000, and you still have 999 other subjects that are so very important for the human world. As a result, now you are here to learn the level 20. I teach you and review everything to you to prepare for the 1,000 lesson that you can learn as a higher soul who can merge to you and contribute to help the communities around the world. As you use universal energy in the level 5.1 to apply in agriculture and farming, you can transfer energy from a distance in only level 5.1. Now, through your journey, as you learn through 14, 15 more levels until you reach the level 20, then you know your capacity, the changes in the environment through times, as you go through the changes in your soul, so you can serve your people, your country, your communities. Eventually, you will see many strange phenomena all over the world. This strange phenomenon, everywhere you have the more antenna that you have in the country, that you have seen, you will see more phenomenon. My point is, in Vietnam, you will see the positive situation that for the past centuries, that you never have the best environment that may happen in Vietnam. It is not that it is my country that I praise, but in the future, there are many similar countries just like my country. In your country, you have only 10, 20 million, but in my country, we have more than 80 million. So with everything I present to you, I don't want to repeat again, but from science and spirituality to neutralize, nobody can do it except the strange soul that can come here to do it. In the three-dimensional world, all of the people from the first civilization, they could not do it. They cannot reach like in this level. Just like this student, as you mentioned, in England, they know about how you can generate electricity without the wire. And through the presentation from Margaret in England, as you can see, how come the Japanese or the scientists, they use solar energy. They use a calculator without using the battery, without using any wire. They only use solar energy or the light from the light bulb. That is the calculation in the human world. With my calculation, it is the deity who revealed to me. I do not know about this. With everything the deity revealed to me after 34 years, and explained to me after 34 years, except at the time, as I do it first, and then I apply it, then I can teach you. And after I teach you, you see the result immediately. You don't have to wait. From the lower to the higher levels, you apply from the lower to the higher levels, you achieve the result according to your practice and application. So you listen carefully. So for that reason, in this level 20, more or less, 97 to 99%, you would be able to achieve. And as you achieve, then you see these are all the capable soul. If in normal soul, we can only achieve 70%. That is the great change. The great change here is you and me will come to become a new people with a new ability to serve in a new way. That is to have true peace and prosperity, to bring the light of joy to all the people. So as you are able to change the environment, that for the past few days as well as in recently, love and hate, you still transfer energy to help them, whether they can succeed or not, whether they can do it or they stop, then for sure it is up to them. For us, we just help them. Who knows, as you help them with the energy, we help them with your capacity, so that that person will develop further to improve to help the country. You can see. Or you have in one company to be rich, then you will promote it and you have a higher salary. That's all. You have an unbiased mind to transfer energy to your boss, to transfer energy to the director in your company, and then let them decide if they don't. If they do right, then they go up. Then they will promote you as you are the unknown soldier. You are supporting them, so they have more ability, and this is a special ability that is to contribute to help the communities around the world. That is how I explain for you. We keep an unbiased mind. We do not say that that person good or bad. We do not think that person is now need your help, or you have to support them. No, you think that you are promoting them, but you are demoting them. Sometimes you transfer energy to try to demote them, but you are promoting them. So as I point out to you, you just merge with them unbiased, with unbiased mind, to help them with their faith and destiny as they are with you. If they do good, then they will be promoted. If they do bad, then that person will resign, and you will replace, and you promote. It doesn't mean that you have to follow that person. That is how I explain for you. In the case of the energy, you are able to neutralize in many situations. The most difficult case, that is the soul, the mind of the humans. The deities had allowed us, due to the fact that many of these capable souls from the past, and they help us so we can help the souls in the fifth civilization, so that they can have wisdom and enlightenment. That is how I remind you. So you listen carefully, so you have a chance to apply and be more successful in order to benefit for other people. That will include your family and yourself. Next question in Thailand. One more question in Thailand.
با سلام. استاد درباره تکنیک لاغری و افزایش قد در این لول برای ما توضیح بدهید. سوال دوم. قرار بود دانشمندان و محققین به صورت تخصصی در این لول درباره حاملگی مانند حضرت مریم از طریق انرژی استاد چیزهایی یاد بگیرن، ولی تا به امروز در این باره صحبتی نشده است.
Okay. You have it?
Hold on.
Hello?
Okay. This question is from Mr. Shahin Sharifi in Iran. Dear Master, would you please tell us about a new technique on losing weight and increasing height? Also, could you tell us about pregnancy without sperm in this level 20, just like the Virgin Mary? You were supposed to talk about that and choose some certain people. We were wondering if you can actually help us with that. I have one more note in here that it seems like last night they have sent a message from Tehran, which tells us that United States and Iran are sitting here today on discussing some matters in Iraq. So we were going to ask Master to help us to transfer energy to this conference in order to help both nations on this situation and the problems of the Middle East. Thank you so much, Master.
Now for you, let me explain for you. So now you can experiment in the case of the losing weight. You can try each time when you meditate in the warm water that you drink 30 ml of the EV garlic water. After you drink and you eat. In the past, you eat and then you drink. Now you want to lose weight. After you practice, you drink and then you eat. Then suddenly, in the past you eat 3 bowls of rice. Now you only eat 1.5. You slowly you feel healthy and then you lose your weight and you look more pretty. And for the ladies, I just want to say in general, for those of you who have overweight, you can do the same. Suddenly your leg is thinner, and then later on many of the women will come to learn. So now I help you to change your appearance. You look more beautiful. If you want to, you have to practice. A day you practice 3 times. After you practice 3 times, and then you drink the garlic water, and then you eat. You know why? So that it controls your digestive system. So you eat less, but it is healthy. It doesn't mean that you eat less and that you're hungry. Just not like me. Each day I just eat half of the bowl of the rice, and at lunch after 3 hours of lecture, suddenly my stomach is growling, and after I eat, and it stopped growling. They are laughing at me. So now I share with you. Now increasing height, you just practice each day. You transfer energy to yourself, and then you merge with me 3 times. You transfer energy to yourself, and then you merge 3 times. Listen carefully. Now let me explain for you. In a case of treatment for yourself, in the morning when you wake up, you merge with the Soul Master Dang. That is how you can treat for yourself. Then you merge with the Soul Master Dang for the second time, so that whole day you can treat. If you want to merge with the Soul Master Dang, you can, and also you can merge to all of the objects in the temple, the school, the building, the supermarket. If you want to merge, you have to remember each time when you merge, you ask Master Dang to merge with you for treatment. Then you don't have to during the whole day. The formula that I share with you, so you don't get confused. In the case that you do the individual treatment for yourself, as well as you do the collective healing. Now, if you want to be pregnant, now let me explain for you. If you can try to do that for yourself without the sperm, and if you have the feeling that after 100 days you have the sensation that you continue to transfer energy, if you feel strange inside your stomach, then you use a bowl of water 14 degrees Celsius, and then it will be just like a case of miscarriage. You let it go into the bowl of the water. You transfer energy 3 days. Each day you merge 3 times to that. This is the level 20. Listen carefully. So for 3 days consecutively, if there is no problem, then you take it out. You can put in a clean cloth. Then each day you merge 3 times into the fetus. When it's taking the shape, meaning that the shape of the infant, then you tell the medical people, you explain to them that you do like this and you apply like this. Then whether they believe or not, it doesn't matter. Then you continue. Do not let them keep in the incubator. You keep at home and you transfer energy. And slowly, when it's taking the form, then at that time, whether they accept or not, it doesn't matter, because that is the invaluable gift for the humankind, not just for you or for Iwi. If all together like that, then all over the world, these are the case of wisdom enlightenment, representing for the human in the future, that is your children with wisdom enlightenment. Now, as a couple, same way, if you want to experiment like this for the whole month, you do not have a sexual relationship, or for example, for those of you, for the men, you have the cut. I don't know about that. They cut some. I did not cut, so I do not know what they are cutting. I don't know why you are laughing. I just say like that. I do not want to say they cut that thing. I just say like that. They understand. I don't have to say anything. I just say, I know the students they are very clever. If you want to experiment for the woman without the sperm, if you can achieve, that will be the greatest asset for the human world. Whoever the first woman who can create a human with wisdom, enlightenment, perhaps these souls from the first, second, third, and fourth civilization, they can help you to achieve this. So this question, as you ask, as I merge and I receive the message, and I will show you clearly. Do not apply the technique of level 19. You apply the technique of level 20 as I teach you. And now in Iran, you listen carefully. Iran, in Thailand, you don't have to worry. In the recent years, in the previous seminar, I told you already, the situation, the crisis between Iran and America. But I told you that there's no problem. There's no problem, and everything would be calm. I had mentioned in the previous seminar already, several years ago, when you see the crisis, you see that between America and Iran, but later on there will be close friends. Just like in the case of the 5 nurses, that's supposedly they have a death sentence and they are returned back to their home after 7 years of sentence. That yesterday, the student from Romania that revealed to me this morning. I heard the news in Vietnam. They also said that now the two countries established a diplomatic tie after they released one of doctor and 5 nurses. In the case they have the problem, I do not know about the problem, but the important part is for you in Hungary. When we were in January 2007, when we tried to practice to travel out to space and pray, we all, you and me, we transfer energy directly to help this nurse and the doctor with their problem that supposedly they will have a death sentence, but now after 7 years they return back to their home, and that is a joy for those of you who are in Romania and also the family of this nurse and this doctor who came to another country to serve. So that is the joy. So now the UN have a meeting, either more or less. There's no problem. I know. There's no problem. Don't worry. So now from the level 20, when you go home, you see the news that come to Iran, so you don't have to worry. I'm American, Vietnamese American. You are from Iran. I'm the Vietnamese Australian. You and me, we have the ability to pray, to solve. We only pray. We do not merge. However, as I tell you ahead of time already, so now you are from Iran. For the of you in Thailand, or a few of you who are here, later on when you meditate, you pray and you merge. Now you can merge. You can merge into that conference between the American and Iran, wherever the location that you merge there. You merge there 3 times. Each of you merge there 3 times. When you merge, whether you can merge or you cannot merge, the result is positive. I already know ahead of time everything will be calm. So it's not like a crisis that other people or other country have concern. Or those of you in Iran, you concerned, so don't have to worry about it. So now get ready, so you can practice to travel out to space with me. So now get ready.
One short question. Do the people receive the energy from the Master with the eyes closed, or do they still keep their eyes open when they receive the energy from the Master?
We are practicing travel out to space.
Yes?
You close your eyes. We are practicing to travel to space. Close your eyes.
Also by receiving the energy from the Master already?
We all close our eyes because we are practicing to travel to space. We all close our eyes. So all of you and the student in here, you close your eyes, except for some of the children who are allowed in here. Then they can just sit there, open their eyes. There's no problem. As I travel out of space, I'm afraid I may lose my glasses, so that's why I put my glasses down. Some of you, you put down your glasses. You're not going anywhere. You're just sitting right here. Are we all ready? So now begin. Now it is finished.
Now finish. Okay. Bye bye. Au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Parle français very well.